What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Al in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Andy, Bill, Brian, Cheryl. Frank is in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Joe, Keith, Kevin, Lauren, Lucian, Michael, Rick is in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Sarah, Shane, Virginia, all my people out in YouTube land. You guys are full in swing on YouTube land. Levy, good morning to you. Good morning to Daniel, Peter. We got all my lurkers in the background of YouTube. They're just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. Hit that like and subscribe button, but yeah, we'll see what this market wants to do. Trump woke up early today, so he's been out making comments, making some statements. Market's kind of pulling back. He's still talking about I don't know if he's still talking, but he was talking about essentially who he's thinking about maybe replacing Jerome Powell with. So you got a little concerns there. He was name dropping some of the banks that says playing a little bit unfair maybe. Nonetheless, really good earnings that came out last night from a bunch of companies that's going to carry the entire market higher. The tech market, tech sector doing pretty solid as well. So that's going to help boost the market. We do have a retest gap for today. And let's see where we got to pre-market. Hold on. Let's see. What was the high? The high of the market was 633.07. Where do we have our resistance for today? Out of curiosity. Resistance is 633.20. So that was kind of where I was planning on maybe getting some protection and some shorts. In a longer term sense, we'll see if they let us get back up into that zone. But it looks like we pretty much already just ran right into it. So we've now from this gap down. Again, really strong day yesterday. Bullish gap and go. We cleared yesterday's high. There was a bunch of resistance away. We cleared most of those we were talking about. We ran right into the close, right into the 631.28, and earnings did get us into the full-on retest of that VPOC from Thursday, July 31st. Anybody's game. Anybody's game. This is a retest gap. We've already come in. So what I'm looking for is can we get up to this 330 or 633.20 in active hours? Can we see that print again? If we could, that's right around the spot. I'd be looking to get some protection. Look to go short. I think that's a really strong resistance. Other than that, if this is a retest gap, we'd never get back up to that spot. Maybe we could get a couple candles to get back into live. I would like to see that live action print right up into here. I don't know how we get there though. Um, if the market's nice right at open, we go bullish, we run right into that 633.20, and then we'll see if we could break it, use that as support, and then continue higher. If that is the case, the next levels I got for me would take me into the 636.41, and then we got 637.14 would be another huge resistance. Anything that closes above that, besides a few psychological levels, takes us into forget about that drop. No need to panic. We're probably hitting all-time highs again. But if we reject this, if we get back in live hours to 633.20, we cannot break through. We're not getting any gaps above it, nothing crazy. That would be a little concern that we are probably going to break down. For right now, though, support for today somewhere around 630.07. We're kind of smack in the middle of both the closest resistance, closest support, and I think anyone's game. Honestly, I'm hoping that we can just rally at open right into that 633.20. I think that would be an interesting spot to go short, give us some more room. I don't have a lot right here on the SPY, but those are my levels. Anything that starts to break down this support 630.07, especially if we get closes, then I think you have a little bit more probability that you probably hit the 621.64 again as a retest to the downside, but I think more than likely look to break down that zone. And this entire 2 day fiasco, 3 day fiasco, including today, would just be one big retest closing up that gap. So on the fence, I don't know. We'll see. If the Bulls need to show up, it's got to be pretty soon. But so far this morning, at least, they are bullish. The question is, can we stay there? Q's, same thing. Let's check the after hours on this one. What's the highest point we got pre-market? We got 566.85. five, six, what would you say? 565, 85-ish. Where is that resistance? 565, 87-ish. All right. Well, we're still kind of hanging around that zone too. So we didn't really pull back as much as the SPY's kind of dropping a little bit. Q is still staying relatively strong, but there is our resistance right there staring us in the face. So again, also retest gap. The question is for the longer term stuff, if like this is I think should be a good resistance. There's obviously buyers that stepped in yesterday. If we immediately open, we break through this 565, we'll call it 90. If we get through that, you still have some other spots that could give us some resistance all the way up to 569.05. That would be the longer term spot for me. If we get closing above it, that would set us up for a really good potential. Forget this drop, we hit all time highs. Otherwise, there's still some zones, but I think this is a huge one. I think we start closing, especially even today. If we start closing above 565.90, that could set us up for more of a rally before we even get to those other resistance. Probably a little bit of a longer term rally. So we'll see. Otherwise, support for today, 563.29-ish, somewhere in that zone. And it is a retest gap. You're opening at resistance. I don't know. This one, if the bulls can come in strong, close above it, fantastic. We'll stay bullish. Otherwise, I'd be skeptical of this bullish rally at open, even though earnings were good. Um, let's check into Bitcoin, BTC, USD. Bitcoin, we've got uh tried. We essentially got right into this 114,875. We're kind of using that as resistance. We did get one close above it. That could not hold for very long. And now today, obviously, this candle's still open, but on the way back down for the retest, you really want to see this 114,391 hold. If not, bigger support, which we did bounce off of so far today. We'll see if the Bulls can stay above it. 113,664. I would like to see by the end of today. By the time this candle closes, we sneak back above this 114,358. That would still make this kind of retest. Give the Bulls a chance. Otherwise, we got kind of rejected off this 115,457 or zone that we were talking about for a while. So we'll see. Little bit of chop. Slight lean to the Bulls, at least at open. I'm just not sure how much they want to stay today. They have to prove it. They have to prove they could hang in there a little bit longer. All right, let's check out a couple tickers. The first one, obviously, we have is Palantir with earnings that came in yesterday, last night after the bell, and they were fantastic. Again, valuation crazy, but they could grow into valuation. They did beat earnings by 15.74%, higher than expected earnings per share. They came in with a cool $66 million higher than expectations. They they press release they put out is it wasn't intended for us. It was intended for the algos. It was just all keywords. They essentially just did a chat GPT search of what keywords could we put into I'm sure they don't. Do they use ChatGPT at Palantir? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they just said what algos are going to react to what words and just threw those words in. So very algo driven type report in terms of press release, and it worked. So you're up to 171.75, 80 at the moment. 171.80, something like that. Depends on if you blink. Other than that, I've got nothing higher. This is a massive retest gap. Still Palantir. What did we do in the last earnings? Last earnings, we had good numbers and gap down. So yeah, they've corrected that AI search. Nice. You actually probably had these earnings were higher than expected on earnings per share, and they did come in with more money on the revenue side of things too. So yeah, fantastic earning. Congrats to anybody holding some Palantir right now. You tell me what you want to do. Are you selling? Or are you holding a little bit more? Are you going to take some profits here? But massive move on Palantir. It looks really good. Still strong. I'd be worried about that little bit of a retest, but it is tough to fight this. I think they were priced again like a 180. So just be careful of that. You're still only halfway to that move. So that would give us about $9 or $8 higher from here. But full on retest if we get it, 160.92. And we did try a live day trade in the room yesterday on Palantir, and that would have exceeded our targets. We just didn't want to do it during the day. So we got out for a very small loss. Hood. Hood we got chilling for now. Not I don't think this is the strongest open in the world. I wish it was a little bit higher, but really good day that we put in yesterday. Bullish engulfing candle from well, it's a retest gap we did. We didn't even really retest, but bullish engulfing candle from the open and close from that Thursday candle, just still inside that volatility range. You did run right into a resistance 106.28 from yesterday, so we're gonna have to break above that. I was wishing like if this thing was stronger, that we get a gap somewhere opening above 106.41 for today. You have resistance 105.95. See if we get candles to close above it, and then more importantly, that 106.32 zone that would set us up for the next push into 107.46. Otherwise, at this level, we are kind of just congested. To the downside, I think you have if we reject this spot right at open, we pull back a little bit. I wouldn't jump in. I would see what happens at 105.23. I think it's a better spot, slightly lower, somewhere in the 103.81 or the 103.30. That will get you better risk reward to see if you can break this on the next time as opposed to the first time. So watch where this one opens. Um, it's right at it right now, so we'll see. But it has a little bit of work to do, and then it's got some more free range on it. ACHR. I have some leaps on this one, so I am holding. What am I on the daily chart? I'm messing around with a couple new buildings. So if you see those sell signs, ignore them. But literally just was adding it before I was hopping in. Otherwise, Archer is good retest gap for today. I think longer term, so this is going to come into a little bit more of the drone, the aviation, defense type stock names. I think longer term, the government spending is kind of pushing in that direction. That's why I got some leaps on them. They look like they can break out. We've been holding this level pretty decently. This $10 level for quite some time. We literally hit it back in June, hit it again June, hit it again July, and now we get some August attempts. So anytime we've been off of these zones, we have been buying it right back up. We look good in terms of them trying to do it again, at least. Nice bullish engulfing candle covering one, two, three. More importantly, I mean that's all good, but more importantly, that close was phenomenal. $10 and 30 cents. It's a retest gap for today. You have yesterday's VPOC and the one from July 29th, pretty much at that same spot. So watch 10:30. If that can hold, that is going to be your better buy spot. Will get you really good risk reward. To the higher side for today, I don't know how much this is going to move, especially I don't really know where this market wants to go today. If the bulls want to stay strong, or all we really did was come in and close the gap and hit some major retests. So if the market fails today, I don't know. It's going to put pressure on everything. It's going to make it tough for this Archer to break this $10.80. If the market looks strong, I'd still be waiting to see if you get a little bit of a pullback as close to 10:30 as you could on this one, and looking for like $11.08. Again, I do have leaps on it, so full disclosure, I'm hoping we break through and just rally. That'd be cool. But for now, we'll see. That is really good support that we're building in on Archer right around the $10 mark, though. So we will see. We got Tesla. Tessie is uh choppy, perfect high wave yesterday. It's closed green, so slightly a little bullish edge to it. Everything's kind of coming off the backs of I mean they've news all the time, but the latest one was the Elon was getting his 94 million shares of Tesla. I was thinking about that yesterday. We were talking about it a little bit in the room. Um, he does have a 5-year hold period on it. So if the deal is going through, if he actually gets the shares, we had some questions if he was actually getting it or there's still more fights that have to happen, and I don't really know. But from what it looks like, he's getting it. But you have a five-year hold period. So worst case, those shares are locked up for 5 years, which I think is actually a good thing until he has the ability to sell them. I think the only thing he could take out right now is money for taxes. But yesterday we pretty much just came in full on retest. The Bulls did prove they could be a little bit stronger, which is good. No follow through today. We also struggled really big time with 310.13. So, and we're just right smack in the middle of both. So I don't know. I don't think there's a real play on Tesla at open. I think watch yesterday's VPOC as resistance for today, 308.94. If we could get above it, we've already now been to this 310.23 zone. Maybe we have a better shot of breaking and holding, and that would get us the setup. But right now, I think if you're going to try this thing, you're just either waiting for a higher price to get in or waiting for that lower price, which would get you to about 304.50, 304.49, somewhere in that zone to take a better stab at it. Maybe watch for this spot, 305.09, but you're still looking for something lower to see if there's anything that could set up. This range right here, high wave candle, inside of it's kind of leaning a little negative. The fact we're below yesterday's VPOC, but I wouldn't say super negative yet for today until something actually develops from it. We got Coinbase. Coinbase is retest gap to the downside. They did a share offering. I forget what it was. Was it like it was something crazy? What was their share offering amount? 2 billion? Yep, so they're planning on doing a $2 billion private convertible note offering. We talked about Elon's his shares causing dilution, which those are shares that are already on the market that were kind of locked up. This is a dilution play. So you have a $2 billion convertible note. The one thing is depends on what the terminology is and how those notes convert, what prices. That could affect the dilution where it's not as bad. But usually, anytime a company, for the most part, anytime a company does any type of offering, it's diluting shareholders essentially. And retest gap for today. I don't like the headline. That's not usually my favorite to go long on, but you are at a little bit of support. We were watching those levels yesterday, seeing if we could hold the key ones for today for support 306.52. And the next one is 305.05. Look for a little bit of support in there, some consolidation. If we cannot hold it, we smack right through it. Your next target to this one, we get you some more room to the downside. I think this is a really good support. Is right around 292.80. Otherwise, retest gap for today. If we can hold that support, I would look for probably targets into 318.04. I would say we probably don't break 318.04 today. I'd be kind of shocked if we do. That's a negative catalyst you got on it. I would think it makes it very tough to break. If they do break, they do close. There's a lot more strength in this thing than I'm seeing right now in the chart, and then you probably have more of a gap fill. But I think any buy the dippers on this one is not even so much buy the dippers. I think it's some shorts taking profits at a very key level, and then look to go short a little bit higher if it does get that bounce. But Kevin says I will be looking to sell puts on Coinbase. What time frame? Yeah, depends on what you're doing. You could go shorter time frame if we're looking like we're bouncing this 304. I maybe you could do like some weeklies on it. If you're trying to go with a monthly, I'd see if this thing drops a little bit further down, get into this 292 zone. You're still gonna want to probably sell strike prices of like 250, something like that. Yeah, about 250 on a strike, and then you get a little longer time frame out there as well. Amazon. Yep, you guys want to talk hymns too? You got Amazon is didn't have the greatest day yesterday. I think we had Melly report today, which is like the South American Amazon. I think they missed as well. I don't think they did good. I have to double check. I saw it briefly and then got distracted. Other than that, though, you have pretty decent breakdown. No buyer stepping in quite yet. The spot I think we can get to where maybe there would be some more interest, at least in a risk reward sense, would take me into this 209.04. So we're still about $2 away. For today, we have a gap up with the rest of the market. Question is, does this hold? And if the market doesn't hold, I don't think Amazon holds. Watch for support somewhere around 212.38. If you do buy it off that, you want to be bullish. Um, you have a lot of room if no other historical data is going to play any type of resistance. I would say 215.86 would be your target if the bulls actually are here. This daily chart tells me they're not. I think if to the bullish side, you only have roughly about 213.71 for those bulls to get up to. Maybe a move into 214.75. I don't think we hit the VPOC today after that kind of candle that came in 215.86. I think if it does, there's your gift for trying to attempt to go short, and your stops are somewhere around 217.52. But yeah, I think it still remains a little bit weaker. Decent open though, not incredibly bearish today at open. Just the fact that we're above this 212.42 zone. So watch that zone. If we start breaking closing, I think you have a better short for continuation. But lots of selling 2 days in a row, and maybe we're due for a slight bounce before we slight bounce inside day candle, and then we'll see. But um, interesting spot. Longer term daily tells me it's still a little bit to the weaker side. Let's take a look at Hims. Hims, yep, pretty decent breakdown. Earnings were okay in the sense of this in the terms of earnings per share. They beat by 12.73%. They missed on the they missed revenue by 6.83. I think the forecast, the guidance was a little weak on them too, but essentially a miss, disappointing investors on the earnings portion of things. Not a fantastic gap. This one's tough because I know it's retail loved and it's down, which means buyers might step in. On just a charting aspect of things, this is a horrific open at the moment. You are taking down mainly this candle, which had your latest decent bullish volume. You are now into this range where from candle July 23rd, your VPOC on that one was 56.35. We've already retested that once and this twice in a short term. That's where I would be looking for this thing to hold. So anything below 56.35, I would want to remain bearish. I think, and then I don't know about today. This is already a big gap down, but I think your target's probably about 51.36, maybe a move back to 48.63 at some point. But be careful of trying to buy the dips on this one. The only thing that might work in your favor it is just retail loved, and they just drive this thing home. But not crazy impressive earnings, and where this thing is opening is telling me there's probably a couple of bulls that might be just trapped. Looking for Hims to 47 in coming days. Yeah, that's right around. Yours is a little lower than mine, but yeah, I think first stop is 40, 48.50. There's obviously going to be some support there first, but that would be an untested VPOC, I think, in a decent area. Maybe we do have this one over here. Is that where you're getting your 47? Yeah, I got 47.85 on this lower red candle, but um, yeah, otherwise not bad. And then if that breaks, you could see a 43.36. Let me just check the volume on the side real quick. Yeah, we're opening below lots and lots of volume. Still in a little choppy area here, but I think we start getting candles that close price under 54.14. There's nothing really holding you back to about $52, 51.93, and then a better spot is $50.30. So, uh, yeah, not a incredibly strong open for Hims. Does look a little different than the market. And again, we don't know. We don't know where this market's going to open or close, or if that resistance on the daily is going to be strong enough, or we just power right through it. That's kind of tough to tell. But if we respect the resistance on SPY and Qs, I can't see this one. I don't see what the catalyst would be. Why this should just be a buy the dipper. But Reddit, there's that. There's always Reddit. AAPL. People go crazy. You got Apple is yeah, kind of out of favor still. Now you got how many days is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days in a row to the bear side. You are starting to get into a little bit of longer term support. This kind of, to me, looks like a broken bear flag. Not a broken, I guess it's perfect bear flag. But here's your initial drop. All we have really been doing is this. Even on this day, we opened essentially right underneath that bear flag, and maybe we're kind of due for the next level lower. Already seeing some volume that I kind of want to check out in the corner. Let me see that real quick. Um, I guess your major volume would come in somewhere around 174.99. Next big volume before that, 183. You got 189. Let me see where we're at on this one. Yeah, so watch 201. That's the highest one. So if you've got 201.68-ish, You start breaking through that in a longer term daily sense is one little volume spike, 195.89. Otherwise, you got like 193.18 would be your next spot. So to me, it kind of looks still a little weaker. We've seen it in real time struggle around that 215 zone. I thought maybe we could break through, and just no bulls yet. Joby looks strong. Joby is, I'm gonna classify this in the same category as Archer. It is better performing. There was a good buy signal on this thing. I'm just working through kinks on this one. But Joby, yeah, looks absolutely strong. I think in the field in that class, this is your strength in that sector. But Archer, I think, has a place in there too. So Joby's been absolutely outperforming. Looks good for today. It is a retest gap. See if you get a pullback to $20.64. Otherwise, I wouldn't fight the trend quite yet on that one. Lemonade, they had earnings. Oh, good earnings. They beat earnings per share by 24, almost 25%. They came in with an extra 3.79 million than expected. Lemonade is nice little gap and go for today. This is another kind of this one sometimes is retail favorite and then just loses favor hard, but watch for 41.84. Otherwise, it does look good. You're crushing through a whole bunch of high volume days. The VPOC on this one, so I think in a longer term sense, you get down to 38.86. There might be some buyers there or some shorts just trying to wiggle out. I thought they had a high short float. I don't know if they still do. If they have a high short float, maybe we just open and just power through, squeeze some shorts out. But let's get this one a little bit higher on the list. 30% short float. Mm, that is a pretty decent short float on that. High wave candle. Again, resistance are very close, but maybe you get a nice little squeeze on lemonade for today. Otherwise, I think you get back down to this 38.86 and you have another shot to go long. But definitely taking out some bears on a high short float stock. But that bell is just about to ring. So, everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons if you have not done so already. Be safe in the markets. I think we have Fed people that are just talking randomly throughout the day. Otherwise, I don't think anything too major. Trump was already up early talking this morning, so maybe we see a couple more rounds from Trumpy today.